Hello friend, this is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com. Today I want to talk to you about how making work easier is not laziness and making it harder is not virtuous. I was watching a presentation where a gentleman was talking about work, and he made this weird comment about how trying to make work easier is laziness, and all humans are lazy, so we try to make work as easy as possible. This is a fundamental error. This assumes that if the work's harder, it's somehow more virtuous, it's somehow better. Now, if you know me, you know I talk about hard work. We should work hard, and we should work smart. This idea of just work smarter, not harder. And of course, you don't want to work harder if you have a smarter, easier way to accomplish that same thing. But that does not preclude you from hard work as well. You should be working hard. You absolutely should. But just making your work harder needlessly when you know other options, you know other solutions, is not virtuous. It's not a good thing. It's foolish because you have a better approach and you're not taking it. This idea that most people are lazy is really kind of an error because people are lazy in things they don't want to do. They're lazy in these endeavors, their business, their work that they really don't want to be doing. So they're not putting forth 100% effort in because they don't want to be doing it at all. And so it's easy to ascribe laziness to those people when they're doing things they don't want to do. Now that's a choice they've made. They can make excuses monetarily, I gotta make money, I gotta earn a living, but they're doing something they don't want to do, and that's why they're not putting their all into it. Now I would say the Christian's mentality is completely different though, because we're working unto the Lord. We're not working unto that business, so if we're doing something maybe we don't want to be doing, we're still giving 100% of our effort. We're putting forth our all into that endeavor. But this idea that somehow making your work harder or taking the harder route when there's an easier route apparent to you is utterly foolish. Now you may do something hard and you may look back at your work and realize other ways you could have done it that would have been easier. And now you learn, you grow from it. And if you do that work again, you will now do it in a more productive manner, in an easier way. That is a good thing. You have very limited time on this earth. You don't want to waste it doing things a harder way, doing things where it takes longer and more effort for the same results. There's no extra virtue in doing something harder if you know an easier and wiser way to do it. And I have to reiterate, you do need to work hard, but you don't want to work foolishly. You don't want to work hard on something that could be easy. And sometimes it's as simple as just looking for the other opportunities, the other ways to get that same end goal accomplished. There are things that people do in their business that they don't even need to be doing at all. There's either automation or software or somebody who likes doing that could do it for them. I give this example sometimes of doing a logo. There are people who know nothing about logos, nothing about art. They have no artistic talent, and they're going out there and trying to create their own company logo to save themselves $50. They may spend hours on end. 8, 10, 12. I've heard people spending 12 hours making their own logo. Is your time not worth more than that $50 over the course of 12 hours? That's the equivalent of $4.16 an hour. When there's somebody out there who can do it in a few minutes, they have software and they have talent, and they enjoy doing it, that's a skill and that's something they enjoy adding that value to the world, who can make that logo for you for $50 or whatever it may be, save you all that time that you could have invested in other profitable endeavors, easily making the $50 to cover that, and you'll get a better product. Unless you're intending to start making logos forever, that's a waste of your time and effort if you're not skilled in that endeavor and if you don't really want to be doing it, you're just trying to save money. So often people do things that they don't need to be doing. They make work and life so much harder on themselves to save a few cents. Meanwhile, you should be having the opposite approach where you're trying to save your time. That finite thing that you don't have an infinite supply of. You could always get more money. Tomorrow you may walk down the street and find a lottery ticket that won $100 million. Who knows? There's all kinds of ways, an infinite number of ways you could get more money. But time, that's a finite resource. And it's something that you shouldn't be squandering on saving $4.16 an hour. Especially when in the same period of time, the same 12-hour period, you could work on something else that would generate way more than $50 and would cover your logo, and it'd be more profitable long term, because depending on what it is, it might be something that's replenishing, so you'll get more sales. Not just a one-time $50 sale or a few sales that add up to $50, but those sales may continue month after month, month after month, year on end, and year after year. So don't let people shame you into doing things harder. Don't fall for the folly of believing that it's somehow more virtuous to work hard when you know an easier option is available to you. Also, if you can, avoid being cheap if you can save time. And if you can have someone else who likes doing that, who's good at that, whatever it may be, have them do that particular task in your business or in your job, and you focus on the things that you're good at that can generate more income. Now, this applies to you even if you're not a business owner. If you work in a business for somebody else, and maybe they've given you a task to do something, you might be able to hire somebody else to do it, presuming there's no non-disclosure, anything like that where you're getting proprietary information or something. But if they just have you doing some task that you could pay someone else to do, who is good at that and can do it way faster than you, saves you time, you can get that done better than you would have been able to do it, faster, and it saves you time that you can invest in other endeavors. That's a way better way to do it. Sometimes people hear these things and they hear about automation and productivity and they think it's only really applying to business owners and entrepreneurs. It applies to you just as well if you work for somebody else, because you should always be looking at yourself, if you're an employee working for somebody else or a contractor working for somebody else, that you are your own business being paid by that employer. And you treat yourself like a business, well, you might need to take on an employee to help you with some of your tasks. These are things that you would do in a business, and there's no reason not to do them if you're working for somebody else as well. So I want to encourage you today, look for wise ways to do things in a faster and more productive way. Maybe even less expensive. Or it might cost a little bit more, but it'll save you time. And that's your most precious thing you have. You know, the poor, the poverty mentality people walking around are always trying to save money. They're always trying to get a deal and not spend as much. They'll never want to invest money in themselves to save a little bit of time. They'll never want to invest in their own education. They don't see the value in it. They see more value in money than in their own time. Now you have a different mentality. You know your time's more valuable than money. You know you can always get more money. You have that high vibration state of knowing the goodness of God, knowing that you can have more, knowing there's an infinite abundance available to you, and you don't have to relegate yourself to hard work needlessly done when you knew other ways to do the same work in an easier manner. My friend, yes, work hard, and yes, work smart, but don't fall for this lie that you need to be doing all your work the hardest, most difficult way, otherwise you're somehow lazy. Lazy is the person who's not producing. Lazy is the person who's not taking on these endeavors. Wise is the person who is doing things as easily as possible. Wise is the person who's redeeming the time, saving their time. My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.